I got to take a picture of that because, see,
So Josh does work.
in Kaysville, we multitask and we are cross-trained. Look at Josh back there, our Public Works Director hanging the clock. He's a hero. We are fiscally responsible here in our city. Okay, everybody, welcome to City Council. Today is Thursday, November 20th, 2025. It is 7 p.m., and we are happy to have you in the audience. Those of you who are with us, thank you. Our opening will be presented by Councilmember Mike Blackham, who will then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, so this is going to be quite short, but because of the time of the year, I wanted to, take my chance, since I have the microphone, to say how thankful I am for what I have and what we have. I'm very thankful for my wife, my family. I'm thankful for Kaysville City. I'm thankful for where I live. I'm very thankful for this council because even though we don't always agree, they're great people and we get along, and I think it helps a lot. And I'm thankful for people like Brandon Willie, people who are great employees for the city. I'm thankful for all the employees of the city that we have here. They work hard, and if you have never worked for a city, you don't understand somewhat. It is really, truly a big family. Everybody knows everybody pretty much. We all try to help out. There's a lot of things that go on. You'll see like Kaysville Gives and everything that people invest in their time. And I'd like to, since I do have the microphone and I have this chance, I'd like to thank my Councilman Perry right here for his 4 years that he's been on the council. He'll be leaving us after his next two meetings. It's been a pleasure having him here. He's been he's put his heart and soul into it, and I appreciate it when I see that. I'm just thankful for a lot of things. And this time of year, it gives you a chance to stop and reflect. And there's a little saying, and after it's be thankful for what you have, and you'll always have enough. If you're not thankful for what you have, you'll never have enough. And you think about that, and it makes a lot of sense. But I'll say a prayer, and then after that, I'll stand up, and we'll all repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. And I have to say I'm going to say a prayer, otherwise John will start the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father in heaven, we're indeed grateful that we could all be here tonight. We're so thankful for all the many blessings that we receive. Please bless our Kaysville City family and employees that they can carry out their duties and do it in a safe and respectful manner. And we really appreciate everything that they do and all the blessings that we receive for living in this area. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. So if you all rise and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Blackham.
I don't know, you bet said it.
Okay, our first item on the agenda is call to the public. We don't have anyone signed up to speak, so we will move forward to presentations of and awards. I'll turn the mic over to Brian Johnson, our Power Department Director, to present an award.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. It's super awesome to be here this evening. Before I ask Brandon to come up, I'm actually going to first ask that Josh Belknap join me. Brandon started working in Josh's department when he first hired on here, and he's actually only been in my department for a short time. And so I'd just like to give a few pieces on Brandon, and then give Josh an opportunity to also comment on the quality of employee that he is. But Brandon deals with contractors. He deals with the headache and the craziness and the hustle and bustle of life on a daily. And he is phenomenally good at it. Not only is he really well at keeping all the contractors in line and keeping track of everything, but he's also extremely proficient at the equipment that he uses, which is very important. Locating power lines, water lines, and the utilities that he does is very crucial, and it's very important and super nice that when my guys go out or when Josh's guys go out, they have the ability to have the confidence that he's spot on with his marks, and we're very dependent on that. But he's super reliable. In fact, we have to force him basically to take leave. But he's just really one of a kind individual, and he's in a. Oftentimes, contractors are very heated, very flustered and upset and angry because of they want to dig or they want to do what they do, and Brandon has to shut them down for whatever reason, and he just has a really awesome knack to be able to keep us cool, to stay level-headed, and he doesn't allow those tacking comments get under his skin. He just realizes that he needs to press forward, and I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it over to Josh now to give a little bit more of his background and a little bit more of the quality of individual that he is.
Yeah, thank you, Bri. I've had the opportunity to know Brandon now for 4 years? Almost 5 years. And I can't say enough good about Brandon, and I don't know how to say that without that feeling like I'm taking away from the amazing people, other people in my department. But this is my biased opinion, but Brandon, of all the wonderful people that I get to work with and that Brian gets to work with, I would put Brandon as one of the most important and most valuable people in this entire city. And no one will ever be able to see the impact that he has and the importance of the work that he does in protecting this city and looking out for residents. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have working so closely with him to understand just how good he is at what he does and just how important it is. Brandon, when he started here, full disclosure, Brandon replaced the previous locator when he retired. That was Brandon's dad, Martin. And Martin, as he started approaching retirement, 2-3 years out, I started to feel really panicked. Martin was technically part of the power department, but he worked for Public Works as well. And just starting to see how important that work was in locating and protecting infrastructure, keeping contractors honest. But I talked to the city manager at the time, and I was like, look, this is a really difficult task for somebody to take on, and made the request, can we bring somebody on to download that institutional knowledge that Martin has? So we looked, we put a posting out, we interviewed, I want to say 5 or 6 individuals, and they were all just super disappointing interviews. And Brandon's interview, and I've joked about this several times with Brandon since, but it was the worst interview that I've ever been in. Brandon couldn't make eye contact with any of us. He stared at the ground. You could tell that he was either nervous or uncomfortable or both. And his leg just sat there and bounced the entire time. But as Brandon talked about just a sincere desire to do a really good job and to work hard and to be able to be proud of what he did and making a difference, he left the room, and instead of everybody oh my gosh, did we just really see that? Everybody looked at each other and we said, that is the guy. That is the guy that's going to replace Martin. A little bit of the interview was a courtesy to his dad, but also some, intrigued with his work history. But it was so obvious that Brandon was the choice. And since then, Brandon has not made any of us second guess that decision. In order to like avoid any sort of nepotism, we brought Brandon into my department and we kept Martin in a different department. And Brandon was able to work with his dad closely for over a year, I believe, learn as much as he could. And I mean this with no disrespect to his dad. His dad is one of the finest people I've ever met, and I appreciate the opportunity I had to work with him. But in the 4.5, almost 5 years that Brandon has been here, Brandon is a better locator than his dad. Brandon is a better manager of contractors than his dad. And I mean that with all the respect in the world. I can't say enough about Brandon and how appreciative I am of him and what he does for the city. And he's just one of 120 some odd other employees that's just phenomenal, that sometimes people see how good they are, sometimes people don't, but we're flush with human beings like that. I'm so grateful for him. So, sorry.
Wow.
With that being said, we'd just like to invite Brandon to come up here and receive his certificate of Employee of the Quarter and present that to him and to the council.
Brandon, congratulations. Wait. Stay up there. We want to take a picture with you, especially. Yeah. Is there anything you want to not
like
share?
7 minutes.
Oh, it's a pleasure to work for the city and all the residents. I grew up in Kaysville, and it's just crazy to see the growth that the city has done, and it's a lot different place than when I was a child, so I just really enjoy doing what I do, so.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing information about him. It's just so interesting to hear people's backgrounds and to be able to get to know more about you. So thank you for sitting through that. I'm sure it was awesome for you. But I mean, how neat that you love the city so much, and we appreciate all that you do. So yeah, we do want a picture
Well,
with
actually,
us.
didn't you guys just live right here on about Center Street or First South and about 2nd or 3rd East, right there? Isn't that right?
What's that?
Didn't you guys have your house just right here, just
Yeah, First South.
First South and about 3rd East, 5th East?
Yeah, we just sort of stand in front here and take our, well, this one will do that. I just don't think you're like, yes, you are here.
We don't want to jinx any of the
Yes, the equipment.
technology.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Amy.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your job. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, how you doing?
We're so lucky. We've got such great people that work here in Kaysville. Every day I come here and I'm just so proud of all the great people and all the work that's done. So thank you for sharing that. All right, conflicts of interest. Anything to declare, anyone, as we move forward? Nope. Okay. All right, would someone like to make a motion on the consent item 5A?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve consent item 5A, the appointment of Christine Murdoch and Heidi I left my glasses in my car. Heidi Tack as Historic Preservation Commission members.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. We'll start with Councilmember Adams.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. We're excited to have 2 more people on our Historic Preservation Committee. They do great work at documenting the history of our city, so grateful to have them on board. All right, 6A, an ordinance amending various sections of Title 6, Title 8, Title 9, and Title 18. Who's taking this one?
Right here.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a continuation from the previous meeting. talking about a few ordinances dealing with several different topics. The changes that we've made from the last meeting are in regards to some commentary and input that we received from council, specifically about the use of drinking water for irrigation. We've gone back and made changes to the previous proposed ordinance, but also made changes to 2 other ordinances that deal with the same thing, just to try and get the messaging consistent amongst the various codes. The comment that the input that we received last meeting was essentially, and Councilmember Blackham, correct me if I'm wrong, back in the 80s, the city put in a decent amount of effort and funding into a massive project, but even by today's standards, to move away from flood irrigation and to install a secondary irrigation system. I think that's a massive water efficiency and conservation effort that I really think should be applauded. And the intent associated with that was, let's utilize this untreated water for irrigation, and let's protect our culinary water contract so that it's not also being used up in irrigation. The approach that we've taken with redrafting some of this is the irrigation companies and Weber Basin Water Conservancy District have identified some significant difficulties with serving portions of the city east of Highway 89. And we recognize that is the case, but we've tried to rework this to reflect that we still want to default to trying to serve all areas, including east of Highway 89, with secondary irrigation. The difference that we've made is, if we can place the onus and responsibility on a developer to obtain the necessary information, whether through water modeling or other engineering means, to show that it is not feasible, it's largely not possible to serve a specific portion of property with pressure irrigation, then we can look at that and say, okay, we might have to use culinary water to serve this property, but everywhere else, you know, if you're having a hard time getting the shares together, if it's really going to be expensive to do the development that you want because you've got to do pressure irrigation, we're not trying to make it more difficult for people to develop their property and to do the projects they want to do. I think what we're trying to do is respect the intent behind that original bond amount that, Mike, I think you said it was around $30 million.
It was about $30 million, and actually and last time I talked to Rick, they were still paying it.
Yeah, it's still something that they're paying on to this day,
and
for sure.
So, you know, and for it to even be feasible, it had to be everybody needed to connect to pressure irrigation to pay that fee, to help
that's
pay
an
that
excellent
bond.
point. It wasn't a philosophical thing alone. It was, hey, in order for this to be economically viable, we need the funds from people buying shares and paying their dues to help fund that bond, that debt obligation.
You all know what it costs to cut a street now.
Yeah.
City had to commit to cutting almost all of their streets and putting pressure irrigation in everywhere throughout the city. It was.
I remember we had to pay for our own.
The only way it would work, was that everybody participated in it.
Yeah.
And so and as we know, water's becoming more and more difficult to procure.
Yep.
And I just heard on the news tonight that water will be one of the biggest things at the legislature this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is our intent here. Is by default we want all development served by pressure irrigation, and we're willing to look at engineering data and studies. We want that to be done by the developer. Bring it to us. We can review that. Otherwise, we'll have developments avoiding the use of culinary water for irrigation as we go forward. The other items, we didn't make any changes to, but they have to do with parking in and near commercial and industrial type of areas where there's some difficulty seen in some of these locations where, the entrance into a business or a mailbox for a home or a business is frequently blocked by employees of businesses or customers of businesses. I was just talking to Councilman Jackson specifically about the Market and Borough area, and there's certainly some concern there. We don't want to negatively impact our businesses, but it's kind of interesting because the most frequent complaint that I think we get about Market and Borough is that, hey, we've got our driveway is being blocked by employees of the next door business. Our trucks can't get in and out because they're parked so close to our driveway. So I think it's a net positive. And then the other ordinance, let's see, we had parking, we had water. Oh, correct. And then making a minor correction, the moratorium on excavating in a new road, moving it from 4 years to 3 years to match the permit. So, yeah, with that, love any questions or input from council on any of those items.
Okay, council, do we have any comments?
I just want to say I appreciate the thorough and balanced approach that the city is taking with parking and these issues.
Well, I think that's a huge credit to the police department. As we were talking before the meeting, you do have some communities, and I don't think this is meant as a criticism of those communities, that largely fund a lot of their operations based off of ticket revenue, and that's not to say that the police department doesn't ticket or tries to avoid ticketing people, but I think they are continually focused on, hey, we want to educate people as much as we can, and I think this is one of those items where, hey, we've got an issue, we can point to an ordinance now where it's not just like a vague, this isn't really a nice thing to do, so don't do it. No, it's specific. We can share that, and then enforce as needs be. As kind of a last attempt. So, yeah, definitely appreciate the police department with that approach.
All right, thank you. Oh, Councilmember Hunt.
I kind of just want to echo what Councilmember Jackson said. Was just, I appreciate the approach. I definitely have had residents, especially over near the movie theater, who have had issues with people parking in front of their driveways and mailbox. So I think this is a good, needed change, and I think, yeah, we've addressed it the way we do. And I also appreciate you bringing up Market and Borough, because those were some areas where I had some concerns about how it would affect it, and so I'm glad that you've kind of addressed that it may actually be more beneficial.
Right. Well, it's a nice organic process, because this is a situation where, specifically with the parking, started with a code enforcement complaint that we went to look at, and in looking at it, this doesn't make any sense. We want to have businesses be accommodated, but not solely at the expense of other property owners. And so being able to look at and identify a potential issue, and then a lot of coordination over the last year with various different departments to try and find what I hope is a good solution as we go forward. So
Yeah, thank
really
you.
appreciate all the input on this and everything else. So
We appreciate the responsiveness. We've had a lot of questions and queries about the Market Street area. So I think this will definitely make their lives better, so thank you. Any other comments? Nope. Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve action item 6A, an ordinance amending various sections of Title 6, Title 8, Title 9, and Title 18.
I'll second.
Okay, Councilmember Jackson got it in. Thank you for the second. All right, Councilmember Hunt.
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Councilmember reports. Does anyone have anything they would like to share? No? Okay, I'll tell you a little bit. I thought maybe I'll tell you a little bit about what we've done this week as a council, and then just some things that I've done. We had a joint planning commission and city council meeting to just hear some updates and just sort of get to know each other better. We've got some new planning commissioners that are on our planning commission, so that was great. The county invited us to the Davis County shooting range. It's now open to the public, so some of us were able to go and participate there and shoot some guns, and that was really fun. I went on an honorary commander tour up at Hill, where we toured the base, and that was a great opportunity to get to know people. Attended a state central committee meeting at Bluffdale for the Republican Party, so that was fun. On last week, so Hill has obviously been in need, well, our airmen, our military hasn't been paid, so I've had a couple of opportunities to go on base and help with food distribution. And I want to give a shout out to all of the local companies, grocery stores, vendors, suppliers. So much food was donated to the base that it was incredible. So they were able to collect the food on Mondays, and I think we did it for a month. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, the distribution happened, and so people were able to come up and just get as much food as they needed for their families. And that is all credit to Davis County and the Utah Food Bank as well, so grateful for that opportunity. We held a public hearing here at City Hall last week. I sit I'm a chair for the Davis Loan Fund, and so for any of you listening out there that are business owners, Davis County has a loan fund program, so if you're not quite bankable, you can participate, you can apply for funds through the Davis Loan Fund. The committee is set up of mayors in Davis County, and then we review your application and can partner you up with a participant bank or provide all of the lending that you need internally. It was an endowment that was given to Davis County, I think about 10 years ago. I think it was maybe a $500,000 endowment initially, and now it's over $5 million. So it's been a really good program, and it benefits only Davis County businesses. And if you can prove that you're helping to grow the economy by hiring people, it's a great way for us to be able to help you and give back. We've had LPC housing meetings. Like you mentioned, water is going to be a big issue, but so is housing. Some of you have maybe heard the governor being quoted as saying that they want to potentially eliminate zones. There'll be a lot of pushback against something that's mandated like that, but there'll be a lot of discussions about housing and what we can do as a community and as cities to participate in creating solutions that work for our individual cities. Let's see. There was right now the National League of Cities is having their summit, and it's being held in Salt Lake City, so that's going on this week. There was a UAMPS meeting yesterday, so Councilmember Blackham was there, Jason, Brian, our Nick, our other attorney were there participating in that to try to figure out how the new changes are going to affect Kaysville City, and so appreciate their willingness to make sure that they are there. I was there for some of it, didn't understand most of it, so it was an interesting meeting. So Mike was able to, Mike and Nick and Jason were able to work through that with Brian as well. And then, let's see what else. Oh, we also had a council of mayors. We created a council of mayors in Davis County when I first got elected, and it's great. So we get to hold that meeting every other month-ish, and we get together and talk about things that we can do to benefit our cities. And so there's a lot of things happening. So I just want people to know that it's not just sitting up here, twice a month. There are conversations and meetings happening pretty much every day that all of us get opportunities to participate in. And so we are grateful to do this, and we love serving our city. And I thought as a council member, I will try to be better at reporting and communicating some of the things that happen. Anyone else? Nope. Okay, Jason?
Thanks, Mayor. Along the lines of meetings, just a reminder of next week, there is the Wasatch Front Regional Council Fall Workshop, and I don't know if everyone got the calendar invite, but I forwarded it to everybody just in case. I know a lot of you have come to that before, and they're going to have a chance to kind of look at the recently adopted Wasatch Choice Vision and kind of provide a report on that, and then give us a chance to look at the preferred draft of the 2027 to 55 regional transportation plan. So good opportunity to always, if you're available, to come down to that in Farmington Monday at 4 to 6.
The one we're still not included in?
Well, that's a good reason to come. Right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
And actually, speaking of that, I did reach out to WFRC a couple weeks ago and ask why some of the projects that we'd asked were put down, in our last session, why they didn't make it into the report. And there's another UDOT a plan that came out recently on trails that I was surprised to see some things not included in, trying to figure out how those two bodies can get together and coordinate better. But anyway, it should be an opportunity to get our voice heard there and get our interests represented. Other than that, just another plug for National League of Cities. That is tomorrow as well. So if you have a chance to come down, it's interesting. This is the first time in my career I've been to National League of Cities. And well, there's a lot that doesn't really apply well to Kaysville in some ways. You're talking to cities from a few hundred people to millions of people. Today I spoke with city representatives from several states from coast to coast, as well as people from England and Israel. And it's just interesting to see how similar our problems are, no matter where you're at. It's like you talk to somebody in Israel and you think, all right, what's your biggest issue? You're thinking they're going to say like, oh, to stop the terrorists. But it's like, we're having problems with trash pickup, or, it's a lot of the same issues, no matter where in the world, where in the country you are. So it's a fun opportunity to get down and kind of rub shoulders with different people from other cities. So encourage you to go down if you can.
Yeah.
That's all, Mayor.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. Okay, this is probably the shortest meeting we've had in the history of Kaysville, so let's end it. Would someone like to make a motion?
I will make a motion.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you for being here, everyone.
All right.